From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, January the 21st, 2025. We open with the release this past Sunday of 3 Israeli hostages. 24-year-old Romi Gonen, 28-year-old Emily Damari, and 31-year-old Doron Steinbrecher, who were brutally kidnapped by terror group Hamas on October the 7th and held in their captivity for 471 days. The 3 young women were handed over by armed and masked Hamas terrorists in Gaza City on Sunday afternoon, surrounded by a massive, chaotic crowd of Hamas members and supporters. Handed over to the Red Cross, who then drove to hand the young women over to IDF forces. The mothers of the 3 hostages were waiting for them at a complex set up by the IDF near the Gaza border, finally able to embrace their daughters. The reunion's emotional, to say the least. The 3 underwent initial medical assessments at the complex and then were airlifted together with their mothers to Tel HaShomer Hospital in central Israel, where they were able to reunite with the rest of their family members. Israel's official X platform writing, 3 pieces of our heart were returned to us, but 94 pieces still remain in Gaza. We cannot and will not rest until every last hostage is home. 4 more Israeli female hostages are expected to be released on Saturday, though Hamas has not yet named them. After the 3 Israeli civilian women hostages were set free on Sunday, Israel yesterday morning released 90 Palestinian security prisoners, citing the Israel Prison Service, saying that about 3/4 of them were women. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi said today that he will be stepping down over his responsibility, he said, for the IDF's failure on October the 7th, where he said, under my command, the IDF failed in its mission to protect Israel's citizens, saying the state of Israel paid a heavy and painful price in lives lost, in hostages taken, and in those wounded both physically and emotionally. He said the courageous acts of many security forces personnel, IDF soldiers and commanders, and brave civilians were not enough to prevent this great disaster. Halevi said, my responsibility for this terrible failure accompanies me every day, every hour, and will remain with me for the rest of my life. Halevi said he will step down on March the 6th. And the IDF announced earlier on Sunday that it was cleared for publication that in a covert special operation conducted by IDF and Israel Security Special Forces in Gaza, the body of fallen IDF soldier, Staff Sergeant Oron Shaul, was recovered. Shaul fell in combat in Gaza on July the 20th of 2014 during Operation Protective Edge, his body abducted by the Hamas terrorist organization. The efforts to return him, the IDF said, including the gathering of intelligence, continued for over a decade. And during this war, Oron Shaul was finally laid to rest in Israel yesterday, with thousands coming out to pay their respects, including Israel's President Isaac Herzog, who spoke at the funeral. The IDF announced a casualty yesterday. 31-year-old Israeli soldier, Sergeant First Class in Reserve, Evyatar Ben Yehuda, was killed by a roadside bomb as he was on patrol in the Palestinian town of Tamun in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. 4 other soldiers were injured during the same incident, one of them seriously. Israel's official Twitter X platform extended its congratulations to U.S. President Donald Trump on his inauguration yesterday as the 47th President of the United States, saying as well, we extend our gratitude to President Joe Biden for his warm friendship and cooperation throughout his presidency. And family members of hostages still held in Gaza were invited on stage by President Trump during the inauguration ceremony yesterday. Turning now once again to Australia with the latest anti-Semitic attack there. A Jewish childcare center in Sydney was spray-painted with anti-Semitic graffiti and then set on fire today in what Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called a vicious crime. There was significant damage to the structure, but no one was hurt. Acting New South Wales Police Commissioner Peter Thurtle said a special recently created unit designed to investigate anti-Semitic crimes in Sydney will have its resources increased as of today. He said these are criminals who are out to destroy our society, and we, as the New South Wales police force, will do whatever we have to ensure that these people are arrested. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, January the 21st at 7 o'clock. ISGAP leaders Charles Asher Small and David Harris return to the JBS studio for discussion and speak with prominent student leader, writer, and advocate Sabrina Soffer. At 8, Rabbi Marc Schneier of the Hampton Synagogue and the author of Shared Dreams, Martin Luther King Jr. and the Jewish Community, joins Justin Pines to discuss the relationship between Dr. King and the Jewish people, Torah and the State of Israel, and lessons for today. Then it's Abe Foxman and L'chaim. At 10, the ILTV's Insider, which is also coming up next. And at 10:30, a replay of the news. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, January the 21st, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.